Now, one of the things you talk about so much on your social media, Doc, is you talk about perimenopause and menopause.
Yes.
And you said perimenopause is seasonal. It's not the end, right?
Absolutely.
And so I want to give women who are listening the perspective of what are some of those symptoms that they can look out for? Because oftentimes you said it's your hormones
Yes.
that are out of whack, and you the weight gain, all these different things. So kind of lean into that conversation of like, what can women expect to experience?
Yes, and I do want to kind of start this off by saying your hormones can be out of whack far before when you become perimenopausal. So there's certain hormones that have to be at a certain level before a doctor will actually say you're entering that season. But if you notice, there's so many young women coming up with PCOS
Yeah.
in their 20s,
Yeah,
in their
a
30s,
lot.
in their teens.
Teenagers.
In their teens. And so,
Yeah.
of course, we know that's a hormonal fluctuation too. But when it comes to perimenopause, and the reason why I separate the perimenopause and the menopause is because the medical world actually says the menopause is when the cycle actually stops and you're pretty much on the other side of things. The entire duration before then, which for some women is like 10 years or so, can be up to 10 years, is the perimenopause. Sometimes you're going to have estrogen dominance. Sometimes your estrogen is going to be too low. A lot of times your testosterone and your progesterone are low. So some things you can feel without having your blood work done. Just out of nowhere, you're getting a lot of weight gain in your midsection. Now, if you know you're eating crazy, you know what it is, okay? That is not your estrogen.
If they know you at churches,
don't say that's perimenopause.
it's
No.
not.
But things, so say you've kept everything the same in your life, but all of a sudden you're not able to lose the weight in your midsection, or your skin starts looking differently on your face or your neck. Maybe there's a thinness, just something seems to be off. For a lot of women, of course, libido, vaginal dryness, just things that your body doesn't seem like it normally was. My first suggestion is go get your blood work done. So you know what your numbers are. Here's something interesting. A lot of doctors won't go through your blood work with you, and they won't tell you you're perimenopausal.
No.
And as wrong as it is, it's happening probably more often than the MDs that sit down and actually explain, because it takes more time. And that's not a service that the insurance company pays extra for.
And half the people, you get your blood work done, and if you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what these terms are. You don't know what these numbers are. You have no idea.
Absolutely. And in fact, Brandy, that's one of the primary things I do in my practice is I help people to analyze their blood work. And so we can then speak to their physicians. We can, number one, see, okay, is this something that is out of the norm? Is it below the norm? Is it too high, too low? Do we need to get a prescription for this, or can we treat this with supplements and lifestyle factors? Then do another stage, do another round of testing, see if these numbers change. And I work a lot with the MDs on that. A lot of the MDs are actually very appreciative because they're not going to have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different set of circumstances. But what I will also say with once you get your blood work done, then you have to do some changes. Like once you know, okay, this is perimenopause. Many people are going to tell you, especially your OBGYN, unless they're natural side, they're going to say, okay, let's do BHRT, so bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, or HRT.
Yeah.
Now, most are trying to do the BHRT.
So for our audience who's listening, HRT is hormone replacement therapy.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
And so this is going to come in the form of like an injectable.
Injectables,
or cream.
patches,
Yeah.
the pellets. Absolutely. Now, here's one thing. All right. So years ago, in the late 1990s, so they were determining that, okay, this hormone replacement therapy is causing an increase in estrogen. It was causing cancer, right? So what they failed to do is to have the right subjects for the entire test, right? So to make a long story short, they've recently realized, okay, this test was not necessarily apples to apples. It was more apples to oranges. So the numbers are not what they thought. The incidence and the percentages of an increase in cancer was much lower. So they're saying, okay, the problems or the risk definitely can be so great when you don't have your hormones balanced versus the risk of taking the hormone replacement.
Yeah.
So most of your OBGYNs now are saying, okay, it's okay to do. The risk is minimal. But here's the thing, there still is an increased risk. So here's always my advice, and what any type of doctor that's looking more on an integrative or functional side will say. They'll say, let's look at natural supplementation first. And if your symptoms are still so horrible where they're completely messing up your quality of life, then let's look at dosing you with the HRT.
Okay, so first, I told you before off camera that I have been getting my blood work done since I turned 40 years old. So every year, I just got this year's blood work done last week. So I didn't have my results back to come share with you. I was like so upset. I'm like, I should be doing this right now, having a
You
full
can email
consult.
them, girl. You can
So
email them.
now I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk. So, but when I got my blood work done last year, they said my testosterone was low.
Okay.
And so I started doing testosterone injections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started doing testosterone injections. And now I will say this for all of my folks that are watching. Let me say this. You going to get injected with that testosterone. And you going to make some bad decisions. You know why? You are going, Doc, you're going to make some bad decisions. You know why? Because you're going to feel like a teenage boy.
Yeah.
It's going to make you feel like a teenage boy.
Absolutely, which can be good sometimes.
And I did not have a low libido. That was the thing. When they said my testosterone was low, I wasn't. She was like, "Do you have low?" No, I don't. Like, I'm already like, let's go, Liz.
Do you remember if it was your total or if it was your free testosterone? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Okay.
Because see, that's a difference too. So your free testosterone, your free estrogen, those are the hormones that your body can use. So you can have a lower total number, but the amount that your body actually is able to use could be just fine. So those are things to look at too and understand. Now, the thing with, I would have certainly had you go natural first, because you're in shape.
But you know what, Doc? I really decided to do it because I felt like I was starting to gain weight in my midsection. And then I was like, I am training too hard, 5-6 days a week, training hard. And I'm not seeing the type of muscularity, like the type of development that I wanted to see. And so that was why I did it. Now, I did that for probably about 6-8 months, and then I totally came off of it. But for somebody who's listening, what would be a natural way to boost testosterone?
Well, there's a lot of different supplements. And so what I always say is make sure you watch the dosage even of natural supplements, because since they're not coming from a pharmacy, they're not going to tell you how many micrograms, how many milligrams, right? So that's my first thing always. But there's Don Quay. There's what is it? I'm going to always say it wrong. Yonkat Ali. There's all kind of things. And the thing is these are all, so if you look at a male, any type of men's natural testosterone enhancement, these are the supplements, the natural herbs and things that are in there. And they've been working on ancient civilizations for thousands of years. They didn't have testosterone shots.
Right.
And they had to figure it out too. The human body is, this vessel, this temple is not the thing that's changed so much. Our bodies, yes, there have been some modifications in DNA, right, over time, but for the most part, this is the same vessel. Modern society, technology, everything is what has changed so rapidly.
Yeah.
The body can't keep up.
Yeah.
And we have to remember that. So we're putting these new technologies into the same ancient temple that was not designed for the new technologies. And then we keep wondering, okay, why are we having all these abnormalities? They're not matching, guys. So if we're not making sure the receptors in the body, in the brain, within the body, match what we're putting into it for us during different stages of our lives, sometimes that can cause a problem. It can be done very, very well. It just takes working with a professional who continues to have you doing your blood work, continues to watch for certain symptoms, and then is okay with either upping or lowering your dosages. So it can be done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those naturopaths who doesn't believe in ever doing a prescription. No. You do what the body needs. But it should be with the hope of eventually getting off the prescription so then we can balance the body naturally. That should always be the main thing that we're looking at. How do we balance ourselves naturally? And then however you get there is however you get there.
If that blessed you, trust me, you've only scratched the surface. There's so much more wisdom, truth, and transformation waiting in the full conversation. Click the link in the caption below to watch the entire interview, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Vault Empowers Talks.